what's going on? Thanks so much for joining us today. I'm Ben Zinn for NextLevelGuitar.com, and we are bringing you another one of our Inspired by lessons. We're going to look at some of the guitar styles of Motown. So let's jump right in and check it out. Here is our moment, everyone. Before we continue on, please take a look at the text box below. Click on the link in this YouTube text box, and we are going to send you a free video lesson and a coinciding ebook that's not available on YouTube, exclusively available only through NextLevelGuitar.com. It's free information, a lot of good stuff, so please click on that link and we'll continue on. Alright, so as I was taking a look at preparing for today's lesson, I was doing a lot of listening to some old Motown recordings, and I noticed some interesting things about the way the guitar players were recorded on a lot of those old recordings. One thing I noticed is that if you had two guitar players on a recording, they sort of split up their duties. A lot of times one guy would take a lower register, single note kind of line, maybe something like this. Something similar. And he would just stick to that for the whole song. And then another guy would play a higher chord voicing on the higher strings and just match right up with the snare drum hits. A lot of times either on beats 2 and 4 or just right on the 2. Just a nice little pop in the recording to help accent the backbeat. So one guy was just doing that the whole time. So I thought to myself, for today's lesson, let's take a look at combining a groove where we're doing both of those parts, just to give us something a little bit more to put together. So that's what we're going to do today. Take two parts, throw them together into one, and see what we come up with. Okay, so the groove that we're going to take a look at, we're just going to be basically going from G major to A minor. We're going to be basing what we're doing off of this chord shape. And here's our A minor. And a lot of our scale runs or riffing that we're going to do is going to come out of the major pentatonic scale. So let's take a look at a position for that. This would be a G major pentatonic. G is our root note. And here would be a position that we can play, or a pattern that we can play for that scale. We may play notes that fall outside of that fingering, but that gives you a rough outline of the note choices that we're going to use. So to play over the G chord, I'm going to play both the low register riffing portion and the higher chord voicing. Let's take a look at a groove that will combine those two approaches. So once again, we're playing over the G here, so I'm thinking about this chord, but also the G pentatonic scale at the same time. Playing the root note, then I'm playing the top 3 strings to recreate the sound of that guitar hit with the snare drum. That's how we're going to start off, and then I'm going to follow that with some movement in my pentatonic scale. Now let's slide up to our A minor. And because I'm only going to be playing the bass note and the top 3 strings, I'm going to go ahead and neglect these notes here. I'm not going to play them, so I don't need to spend precious hand energy pressing down on those notes. What I am going to do, however, is slide here after I strike my note and do my chord hit. And That sort of thing's a staple of a lot of that Motown R&B stuff, that sort of sliding idea. We're going to come back to our pentatonic scale and again revisit some of that low riffing. Come right back to our original groove. And to close out the fourth measure of that, I'll do a different sort of run up my pentatonic scale. Maybe exchange the first one with something like this. And now I have a nice little cycle or groove that I can string all together. So something like that might work perfectly as a verse section in a song. Nice repeated figure that you can use to hold down the rhythm over some singing. From there we might go to a different feel or a different set of chords. So let's take a look at a second section that uses some similar approaches to what we just did. Okay, so maybe that's a chorus section. Gives us somewhere else to go. Similar sort of idea. We're playing the lower register riffs with one of our guitars, and then the second guitar is playing the higher chords that maybe matches up with the rhythm section with the snare drum. And we're just outlining some basic bar chords, just playing them a different way. So let's take you through those chords and how to split up those parts. Starting out with a G. My pattern here is bass note, top 3 strings. That's kind of what I'm thinking every time. Next chord, A minor. Once again, I'm going to leave out strings 5 and 4, so I can kind of think about even just holding it down like this. I'm not playing the other notes, so I don't need to press down on them. B minor. Here's our more familiar shape. But here's how I'm going to finger it. I'm just going to play the index finger. C major. Once again, no strings 4 or 5, so I can press down on that like this. And I'm going to D major. Same idea again. E minor. Here my root note is on the 5th string. So I'll be playing string 5 and then the other 3 notes. I guess in keeping with what I was doing before, I could leave that finger off, but you know, whatever's comfortable for you as long as we get the notes to sound out. Then I'm coming back to a B minor off of this shape, but once again without those 2 notes. A minor. Up to a full D major to end it. And I'm going to lay into all 6 strings to kind of accent or announce that I'm done with that section. Let's put that all together. As we can see, what we were calling our chorus section kind of leads us nicely right back into the first section. So now this is just all approaches for playing a tune. You know, learning ways to split up your chords and different ways to groove on the chords. That's what we're checking out today, kind of in that Motown style.
Get paid double.
Absolutely. Fire the other guitar player. You got both of the parts now. All right, well, thanks so much for joining us today, you guys. Once again, this is Ben Zinn with nextlevelguitar.com. Please go to that website, nextlevelguitar.com. We have so much information there to help you out with your guitar playing. If you're a beginner, looking for more direction, or even if you're an intermediate or advanced player who's looking to learn some new tricks, we have you covered over there at nextlevelguitar.com.
1,120 videos.
1,120 videos. Always adding new content there. A lot of great stuff. So head on over there, and I'll see you guys next time.